So last week, Friday, I wrote my very last high school paper. And just like that, I have successfully matriculated. And next year, I am off to the University of Pretoria to study civil engineering. For the past 12 years, I've spent most of my time with an average of 35 other learners in a classroom. That was me. And then there's you. Yes, you. You remember your time in school, right? What did your uniform look like? Who was your favorite teacher? What did the school bell sound like? Overall, what emotions are you left with when reminiscing on your time in the classroom? Are any of these memories about learning specifically? Or do you just remember extramurals, your lunchbox, and friends? What do you remember about your experience in school? During grade 11, I started noticing something in me. I had lost something significant. I'd lost that sentiment for school, that eagerness to learn. It was gone. Now, you must believe me, I'm not one to create surveys. I only do it if it counts marks or money. But the emptiness I felt propelled me to find out if I was alone. So I ran a survey. And my survey proved my suspicions. Most of the learners were in my boat. 56% of my survey participants said that their impression of school was tiring, depressing, boring, and astoundingly, one participant said that she felt demotivated. Now, a young person demotivated is not good for the future. All in all, 93.4% of my participants said that they lacked excitement for learning. So this got me thinking. In 2020, I did a program with the University of Pennsylvania relating to user experience. User experience. What about the learner's experience? So I started to consider if I could transfer these user experience fundamentals to suit the learner's experience in school. Could improving the learner's experience reinstall a sense of liberated learning? Determined to solve this, I developed a framework, a 3-step framework that I coined SWA. Now, I must point out that this framework is for educators and facilitators and that it is not a SWOT analysis. SWA stands for Scan, Walk, Ask. Let me use a classroom to demonstrate. However, any learning environment, I believe, can use a little bit of SWA. Number 1, scan the environment. Use a third person's perspective. Look at the color palette. Warm colors invite us in. Cool colors disengage us. What is the lighting situation? It has been proven that a full spectrum of LED lighting that stimulates natural daylight is the most conducive to a healthy learning environment. If too dim, learners may lose focus and struggle to retain information, which only perpetuates the feeling of demotivation. Step 2 of the SWA framework is walk. The educator should walk through the space and investigate. How do I feel walking through the space? Is there an easy flow and movement whilst I walk? Am I able to keep engagement with my learners while I walk? And also, if I was encouraged to, could I get my learners easily moving in this space? The second part of the framework is, the third part of the framework is ask. What do we ask? We ask the question, how might I? Now, this step combines the knowledge gained to step 1 and step 2 to direct one's problem into a single comprehensive goal. An example of this would include, how might I encourage my students before they enter the classroom? How might I sustain them for learning? How might I motivate? Scan, walk, ask. SWA. This year at my school, I co-founded an initiative known as the Traditions Committee. The Traditions Committee comprises of both educators and learners. The committee aims to answer the questions that the school should consider in the final step of SWA. This year, we asked the how might I question. How might I adapt the traditions of the school to suit the diversity in my learners as a collective? Answering this question has allowed us to foster a common sense of identity amongst our learners, this being a vital driver to a healthy learning environment. Not only this, but we have also been able to bridge the gap between previous and current learners in our school, giving us a sense of legacy and an incentive to someday inspire our juniors. We have also been able to reopen our school's legendary museum. Remember, students currently associate the schooling environment with boredom, exhaustion, and demotivation. Educators and facilitators, I propose that SWA is the solution. Of course, all schools are different. A school in Limpopo, South Africa, where learners walk kilometers to attend and eventually gather under trees, is significantly different from a school in a big city. But for either, the SWA framework could reveal different solutions and both could benefit. C.S. Lewis once said, "The task of a modern educator is not to cut down jungles, but to irrigate deserts." SWA can do this. Educators, scan, walk, and ask. Our students' future and success depends on it. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Khanyisile Mphahlani, and the University of Pretoria, I hope you have time to SWA before I get there.